Have you ever had one of those days where everything just goes wrong? You spill coffee on your shirt, you miss the train, and then you get called into your boss's office. For Sophia Amoruso, that day didn't just end with a bad meeting. It ended with her getting fired. But this isn't a story about failure. This is the story of how getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to her, and how she turned a pink slip into a multi-million-dollar empire. Stick around, because this comeback story is one for the ages. Before she was the CEO of a fashion powerhouse, Sophia was just a young woman trying to make ends meet. She bounced between odd jobs, feeling a bit lost, a bit adrift. In 2003, she was working as a security guard at an art school, checking student IDs. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. One day, she decided to start a little side hustle, an eBay store she called Nasty Gal Vintage. The name was inspired by a Betty Davis album, a funk and soul singer known for her raw, unapologetic attitude. That same attitude would come to define Sophia's brand. She started by hunting for unique vintage clothing at thrift stores and estate sales. She had an incredible eye for fashion, picking out pieces that others overlooked. She'd buy a vintage Chanel jacket for $8 and sell it for $1,000. But she wasn't just selling clothes. She was selling a lifestyle. Unlike other eBay sellers who just threw items on a hanger, Sophia styled them on real models' friends she'd recruit for free. She used MySpace, a social media platform at the time, to connect with her customers and build a community long before influencer marketing was even a term. Her little eBay store started to take off, really take off. She was making more money from her side hustle than her actual job. And that's when things got complicated. She was using the office computer at her security job to manage her growing business. Let's be honest, it wasn't the most professional move. Her bosses eventually found out, and you guessed it, they fired her. Just like that, she was unemployed. For most people, this would be a moment of panic, a crisis. But for Sophia, it was a push. It was the universe telling her to go all in on her dream. With no job to fall back on, she poured all her energy into Nasty Gal. She was the photographer, the stylist, the copywriter, the shipper, everything. She worked tirelessly, fueled by passion and a fierce desire to succeed on her own terms. The business exploded. Her eBay page was getting so much traffic that it started crashing. She was kicked off the platform for posting links to her own website, which was against their rules. Again, what could have been a disaster turned into an opportunity. It was time for Nasty Gal to have its own home. In 2008, she launched Nastigal.com. The transition was a huge risk, but it paid off spectacularly. Free from the constraints of eBay, she could fully control her brand's image and customer experience. Sales skyrocketed. Within just a few years, Nasty Gal went from a one-woman eBay shop to a global fashion brand with millions of customers and hundreds of employees. At its peak, the company was valued at over $300 million, and Sophia, the girl who got fired from her security job, was named one of America's richest self-made women. Now, let's pause here for a moment. This story is incredible, right? It's the ultimate underdog tale. But what really made Nasty Gal so successful? It wasn't just the clothes. It was the brand's voice. It was edgy, it was cool, and it spoke directly to a generation of young women who didn't want to look like everyone else. Sophia built a brand that was an extension of herself, bold, independent, and a little bit rebellious. She understood her customer because she was her customer. She wasn't some corporate executive trying to guess what young people wanted. She was living it. Her book, Girl Boss, became a New York Times bestseller, inspiring millions of women to take control of their careers and build their own paths. The term girl boss became a cultural phenomenon, a hashtag, a movement. It represented a new wave of female entrepreneurship, one that was authentic, digitally savvy, and unapologetic. Sophia showed the world that you don't need a business degree or a traditional career path to be successful. Sometimes all you need is a good idea, a lot of hard work, and the courage to bet on yourself. Of course, no business journey is a straight line to the top. The fashion industry is notoriously difficult, and Nasty Gal faced its own set of challenges. As the company grew, it struggled to maintain the unique culture that made it so special in the first place. Competition intensified, and the brand faced financial difficulties, eventually filing for bankruptcy in 2016. Sophia stepped down as CEO a year prior, a painful decision for the founder who had built it from nothing. But here's where the story takes another fascinating turn. Many people would have walked away defeated, but not Sophia. The bankruptcy filing was a public and difficult chapter, but it wasn't the end of her story. In 2017, the UK-based fashion giant Boohoo Group swooped in and bought the Nasty Gal brand for $20 million. They saw the power and potential that still existed in the name that Sophia had created in her small apartment years ago. Now, you might be thinking, wait, the title of this video is She Bought the Company. And you're right. While Sophia Amoruso didn't personally write a check to buy back Nasty Gal after the bankruptcy, the essence of that idea lies in what she did next. She redefined what it means to buy the company. Instead of buying back the physical business, she bought back her own narrative. She took control of her identity, refusing to be defined by the company's downfall. She moved on to new ventures. She founded Girlboss Media, a company dedicated to empowering the next generation of female leaders through content and community. She started a new fund to invest in other promising startups. She proved that her success wasn't a one-time fluke. The real company she had built was her own brand, her own resilience, her own story. In a way, by refusing to let the failure of one company define her, she bought back her own future, her own power. The story of Sophia Amoruso is a masterclass in resilience. It shows that getting fired, failing, or facing public scrutiny doesn't have to be the end. It can be a new beginning. It's about learning from your mistakes, pivoting when you need to, and never losing that initial spark that made you start in the first place. She took the experience from Nasty Gal, the good and the bad, and built something new, something stronger. So, the next time you face a setback, whether it's getting fired, failing a project, or just having a really bad day, remember this story. Remember the girl who got fired for working on her side hustle and turned it into a fashion empire. Your greatest setback might just be the setup for your greatest comeback. What's a challenge you faced that ended up being a blessing in disguise? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content about incredible entrepreneurs and game-changing ideas. We'll see you in the next one.